What's up, you guys? It's me, Sai, back with another video. Today we're gonna put a quick release on my front bumper that I found online. I put a little insert where I got it from, so let's see how the install goes.
All right, guys, this is what's included in the kit. I hate doing voiceovers, but there was music playing outside and I didn't want to get copyrighted. You get two of these L brackets. I'm not sure what they're called, and I'm not sure if they're made out of steel or aluminum. One of the brackets is already on the driver's side. Then you get the rods, the push release button, and the nuts and washers. These gaskets I made myself by buying a rubber sheet from Amazon. Personally, if you ask me, I think it was a poor design. You can get vibration, and you've got this bracket hitting your bare metal or bare, I'm not sure. I think the fender is made out of plastic, but it's touching bare paint, so you're going to get scraping, you're going to get wear, and I feel like a rubber gasket would also help it hold up better and absorb vibration. So that's what I did. For nearly $100, it should have come with something like that, but it didn't. Just to put it out there, if you guys want to make your own gaskets, do so. This is how it looks mounted with the rods. Obviously, it's a straightforward install, pretty easy. And now, there are two ways to do this. On their website, he has the whole fender liner out, and he actually marks the drill hole from behind the bumper. I went ahead and put some toothpaste on here like this because I've seen other people doing it this way on YouTube. And what you do is just put toothpaste on there, lift the bumper up, and aim it exactly where you want it to be mounted. Then that toothpaste should leave a little mark behind the bumper. And I forgot to mention, because I'm just finding this out myself, you actually have to cut into the bumper. Because if you don't cut the top of the bumper, the screws that hold the bracket up are going to hit it. So you're going to have a gap there. You have to cut your bumper unless you want a big gap from the screws. I wish I would have watched the video they have on their website because it does show how I'm cutting it as well. If I knew I was going to have to cut into my bumper, I probably would have never bought the release kit and just stuck with the factory screws. But I already have the kit here, so I might as well do it. Alright, so now I'm drilling where the toothpaste left that mark from behind. And after I get my drill through the bumper, I'm going to take this tool I got from Harbor Freight. I think it's called a step drill or something like that. Harbor Freight had it for like $9. Make sure you take your time doing this so you don't make the hole bigger than the actual release button. Otherwise, it's just not going to screw onto the bumper right. And from there, I just put the bumper up, line it up, make sure everything is aligned, and make sure I can see the rod and everything looks good. Then I go ahead and put the quick release into the hole I drilled. Looks good. And then I'm going to go ahead and test fit everything right now. And this is where I ran into some issues. I could not get it to clip into the bumper. I don't know what I was doing wrong. I spent the last 40 minutes trying to readjust the rod, pull the rod in, and I just couldn't get it to click in. And I was like, I don't know why. I don't know what's going on. I removed the release button and rebolted it up. I adjusted the rod from the inside. I just couldn't get it to work. And I'm like, is it because I have a fiberglass bumper and it's not flexible? I don't know what it is. I was like, that shouldn't be an issue. But I know I couldn't get it to clip in. Now, it did stay up like this because what's happening is the rod is halfway inside the release button right now. But this is the best I could get it. It's still not clipped in. If I were to just pull the bumper, it would come right off. But this is as far as I got. I started getting frustrated. I personally don't know what I was doing wrong. I just know that I couldn't get it to clip in. But I'm going to show you guys a close-up. This is how I had to cut the bumper. So you're probably going to have to do the same with your factory bumper. But I'm also going to show you guys, even with the quick release button off the bumper. See, I'm not sure if it's just poor design, or I'm not sure where he's sourcing these materials from, if it's a cheap China-made one. But even with the quick release button detached from the bumper, it just wouldn't lock in. Like, I tried over and over. I don't know what was wrong with it. I even tried the other one. I got the other one to clip in one time, but it should be going in easily. That's the whole point of this kit. But I had to take a break.
Alright, today my brother's not here, so he doesn't have the music playing. I don't want to be copyrighted for my video. But we got the new Amazon one. I'm thinking like all these, I don't know what these are called, but we'll just call it quick release buttons, are all made from the same factory in China, and I was wrong. Because when I got these in today, there's such a big quality difference. Like this one, even like, I don't know, the bolts look different, the threads look different. It's the same size and same measurements, but it just feels different in quality. As well as the rod. I'm gonna call this thing the rod. Like, I feel like this rod is more rounded out and more bigger too. So it's like, I don't even have to force it in. It just clips right in. So imagine like you trying to line up your bumper and trying to push it in. Like, you don't want a freaking like quick release button that's hard and not easy to go in. Like, that's the whole point of it, to be smooth gliding, you know. So yeah, I don't know where he's sourcing these from, but he needed to change it, especially for the price point. It just, I mean, they look identical. That's the hard part about it all. So I'm gonna take this out, and then I'm gonna show you the other, because I bought two brands, and the other brand was a cheap brand. It was like $10. I want to see this other one was like $20. So just looking, let's compare the two together to see. So the insides of this, like, this is so roughed up now because I was trying to force it in because they didn't want to go in. You can't tell, but the inside of this is gold. The inside of this is like a light silver almost. So let's see if it goes into this now. See, like, it doesn't even want to go into this one. Well, it's not the same rod, but I don't want this destroying this one. But let me see if this quick release button will actually go into the rod that I have in here. Okay, it goes in there. And I was always thinking, like, it's not the actual rod that's in there. It's actually this cheap ass release kit that he included in it. It's just, hope the company sees this video, because you know, automatically people think when something doesn't work right, it's like user error. But I showed you guys on both ends, it's just not, it's not like, well, this would be the ultimate test, putting this new quick release button on and seeing what it does. I bought red ones too. I'll show you guys in a little bit. Well, let's see what this one does.
I had to take the wheel off to show you guys what's going on. Here's the issue. This is how the bracket mounts. You can see these quick release button and rods are not designed to push in on an angle, and that's how this quick release designed. So I think what he should have did differently when designing this was make this arched a little bit, because this is why it's not going in, because it's trying to go in on an angle, because the way this push button is placed. I don't know how he got his to go in, but mine isn't going in, and I feel like all E93 bumpers have this angle because it follows the fender line. So what I'm gonna try to do is I'm gonna detach this rod right here, right? And then I'm gonna push the rod into the quick release button. And then what I'm gonna do is see where this rod lands and re-drill this hole and maybe bend the bracket a little bit to get it in there. I think that's my only option right now. But you can see it's going in on an angle, and that's why it's not going in. And the reason why I can't shove it all the way in, because I'm recording, I'm filming with one hand, and I think that's the flaw. I don't know how he managed to get his in, but you can see it's way too angled, so like the rod's having a hard time to go in to the push button. I mean, push release button. That's why it's not going in. All right, after like 5 days of messing with this, finally got it to clip in. I'm gonna demonstrate in a little bit. I want to say it's not the easiest to clip in, but it does clip in. It's secure. It's not going anywhere. I do have a small gap. Well, it could probably be better,
but since this bumper is fiberglass, there's so much tension that that bracket can only do so much. I might adjust it in the future to get it to be closer so there's not a big gap there. But this is the results I got. I'm going to show you guys how I modify this kit, this bracket, to get it to actually clip in. It was a pain. I'm not sure if it's worth it to even buy this kit or just to make your own. And I'll tell you the reason behind everything once I release this. And then again, you have to really play with it to release it. First, when you look at this, the reason why he designed this kit to begin with is this rod most people buy, like the quick release and the quick release button, you can get off Amazon for like $10-15, right? But you have to have a place to drill it in. And with the E93, I think the only place you can drill in is this plastic piece right here, which I should have really tried to do. That might have been that might have worked better, actually, to think about it. But I already have a hole in the bumper, so I can't really go back. Let me take off the bumper completely and show you guys what I ended up doing. Okay, this is what I ended up doing. I tried my best to make it work with the original hole that was made. I don't know what's going on, but I could have possibly put this rod in here without buying the kit, but I didn't want to risk it because this, if I would have put a hole right here, that's so far away from this that it would create a lot of sag, which I end up having sag anyways. So I guess I would have ended up with the same thing, right? Because this is pretty hard, but then like it does move. But this should have been my first option, which I just wanted a kit, a bracket here. This is why I originally bought the kit, because they had this. But I drilled another hole lower and I actually bent in the rod so it would point up and help with the angle, because remember the push button mounts like this on the bumper. So I kind of bent this so it would go in further into the quick release button. That's how I got it to work. And I did it with this side too. You can see this one has more of an arch, but I'm gonna tighten everything up and I'll show you guys how it actually clips in. You kind of got to play around with it, but it does do what it's supposed to do. I wish it was more smoother, but it is what it is. His quick release button that came with the kit and the rod were crap, I personally think. I already showed you guys on video, so I bought this upgraded one, which is working way better. Alright guys, after hours and hours of modifying the bracket, bending it a little bit, and then I adjusted the bracket and bent it some more so I wouldn't have that big of a gap. The final fitment, so you guys use this video to determine if you want to buy this kit or not, or you just want to end up making it your own, or you want to drill into this plastic and see it will work. But what you have to do is kind of get your hands in this plastic right here, and then you got to guide the rod in to the actual release button, which could be tricky because you're not seeing back there, and you just push it in. And then obviously I'll take it out for you guys again. And in order to take it out, you just simply put your hand back there, hold the rod, push it, and let it free like that. I personally feel this is a lot easier than trying to unscrew these little bolts right here that comes factory, because I would have such a hard time going in there with my screwdriver or my socket and trying to get in there to unbolt it, and then you have to line it back up, and you know, you got the stiff fiberglass bumper, like you actually need someone holding it so the lines line up. Now I just have this quick release button, a lot easier to do, just like that. So the same size, the same thing. I'm going to show you guys how much of a gap it actually has now, and yeah, that'll be the end of this install. Okay, this is the gap on this side, fairly decent. I feel like the driver's side's a little bit better. And this is the passenger side. I might do this one over in the future, but that's the best I'm gonna get. So yeah. So hopefully this video was helpful. If you guys decide to buy this kit, this is what you're gonna be going through, unless you install it on a factory bumper, which I feel like is more flexible. The corners of these fiberglass bumper is so stiff that it doesn't leave room for you to play with. But with a few bending, re-drilling the hole, I got it to work. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Leave a comment down below if you would buy this kit or you would make your own. I'll see you guys in the next video.